Welcome back to the Five Hole Podcast. It is a victory podcast. The Yankees are in the World Series. The Mets got booted like they should have 2 rounds ago.
Oh my
Let's go Yankees. Yankees-Dodgers start Friday, game 1. How do you feel right now? I'll give you literally 3 minutes to talk about the Mets. Let it out.
I feel fine.
Oh my God.
I literally feel fine. I did when they got knocked out because the Dodgers are just a better team. Simple as that.
That sounds like coping at its finest.
We had this discussion before in class. Niko was saying that Mets fans calling this season a success are loser fans. What do you have on that?
I wouldn't say it's a success, but I would say that they exceeded expectations. And I've been saying that for a while.
But with the payroll, isn't that like, don't you guys have $200 million payroll or something?
It's going to go down to like 10.
That's because they're paying Scherzer and DeGrom still.
Yeah.
Oh, is that
it's
what
called,
it is?
Yes.
And they're like, we have the best management. Like, that's an awful
I've never said we have the best
I-
management. But what that did is it's starting to pay off by trading those guys because Acuna came up. Okay, so maybe he wasn't a massive part of the playoffs, but he did come and play good defense.
He did.
And 2, when Lindor went down, he stepped up and had a huge 4-game series against the Phillies to help them in their wild card race.
Good.
That's what came out of that. Secondly, they have 2 other kids that came out of that are progressing through the farm system. The kid Drew Gilbert, and I think that's kid Ryan Clifford, who had a good year. But Clifford's younger. Clifford's a couple years away, and Gilbert could be up next year. Or probably will be next year. So, yeah, is it suck that they're still paying them? Yeah, but there's no cap in baseball, so it's not as big of a. It doesn't make it's not as big as of a thing comparative to other sports. You know what I mean? Like they didn't lose out on guys because they couldn't sign them because
but you also have to understand, like you're going into a season where you have like 5 of your 6 like most important players becoming free agents.
Who?
Pete Alonso.
Okay.
Manaea.
Okay, but that wasn't
Quintana.
But Quintana's kind of done.
But like, what do you mean by 5? They're not 5 of the most important players. Manaea?
For the Mets. This season for the Mets, Manaea was pretty important for the Mets run.
Manaea, yes, but
no,
there's probably 5 other guys that are better though.
Yeah, but
I'm saying there's important pieces that are on.
We didn't come into the season. We didn't come into the season saying, "Oh my God, Sean Manaea is about to be our ace of our."
But that's not what I'm saying. But that's what the season was built.
No,
off of.
He had an on year. He figured out this whole crossfire thing, which whatever, what works for him works for him. That's fine.
Let me just put it.
He also wants to come back to New York, and the Mets want to resign him. So he's coming back.
Yeah.
Manaea's coming back.
So Pete Alonso, Manaea. Wait.
Oh, it's echoing. Hold on,
Connor. We're getting feedback. You're good. So we have.
Can I just say one more thing about?
Let me just finish.
Go ahead. Go with the rest of them. And then,
so we have,
I understand.
Pete Alonso, Sean Manaea, Quintana, Severino, JD Martinez, Jesse Winker, Harrison Bader, and that's pretty much
Maton Stanek
and Jose Iglesias.
He was on a 1-year deal. So going into the season, we knew. Listen, Bader was on a 1-year deal. Winker was a trade deadline. Winker was a trade deadline acquisition.
Bader was a non-factor in the playoffs. He went in to play defense.
Winker, I think, all of them want to come back, so that's not the problem.
Yeah, you have to understand that it doesn't matter if they want to come back or not. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes other teams are going to want him. Some teams maybe want a washed-up DH like JD Martinez and Jesse Winker.
I think the Mets are going to let JD Martinez walk. Jesse Winker be back because Jesse Winker also plays the outfield, so you're at least getting something else out of that player.
He was decent too. He's solid.
He's not. Yeah,
he played pretty well.
Yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, at least you get something out of that spot.
And Jose Iglesias, like I don't. If
overexceeded expectations.
If I'm being completely,
I love him.
If I'm being completely honest, I see a team picking him up over the Mets.
Yes. Well,
he's a good baseball player. I think he proved it this year.
What is he on? A minor league deal or something?
He was on a 1-year deal.
He was on a 1-year deal.
No, the Mets want him back, and so he wants to come back too. So there's a mutual agreement that he wants to come back to the Mets, and that's fine. And again, if they don't resign him, they don't resign him.
They almost might not because they have Acuna, McNeil, and Lindor.
Well, McNeil has an opt-out.
Yeah, McNeil's gone.
I think he's going to be gone. And it's going to be Acuna. I think what's going to happen is, obviously, Alonso is Alonso. Whatever happens there, and what they do to replace him, if they do replace him, or if they resign him, whatever. With the rest of the infield, it's going to be Acuna is going to become the everyday second baseman. On what everyone thinks is going to happen is McNeil gets opted out of his deal, and then he's a free agent. Acuna's going to play every day, and then you're going to have Lindor at short, and then Vientos is going to be at third, and then basically you have Iglesias to kind of fill in for Acuna, so you don't have he can fill in it. That's the one thing I also like. Even if Iglesias doesn't give me the offensive year that he had, just being able to play everywhere in the infield is a huge utility guy regardless.
But I honestly don't think he's coming back.
Who?
Iglesias.
I don't know.
No, you gotta understand. He's been doing this. This is not like a new thing. He's been doing this with every team he's been on. He bats like 280 and 300.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So why wouldn't a team? Why wouldn't a team want to get? That's what
I'm saying.
A team want to get him, but
why wouldn't a team want to pick him up?
I would if I would want to stay with the Mets. I just had a blast this year playing on this
OMG.
team.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. Like this
is where I find it. Like as an outsider, I'll ask Robert to speak on it too. Like as an outsider, not a Met fan, I'm being completely honest. Like the last place as a baseball player I would want to play is the Mets. I mean, or the White Sox,
the Athletics, the Tampa Bay Rays.
Because why would you want to? Why would you want to? Why would you want to subject yourself to a team that's secondary in their own market?
Get out of here!
sorry. The thing said ain't nobody want to play for the Mets.
That's crazy.
Have fun forever being a little bro to the Yanks. I mean, it's true. Like, it's not wrong.
Yeah, but okay, so forget the stigma of playing for the Mets.
In New York.
It's the Jets Giants thing.
Dude, you understand this better than anyone, which is, like, at least I feel like I have a better understanding than you.
Yeah.
As Islander fans, we are 150%
the little brother.
The little brother. In fandom-wise, and we're not going to get an argument.
Everything. Yeah.
We're not going to get it in like history because that's
whatever.
That's nothing because it's the same.
Yeah.
But it is. It's same four cups.
Okay.
The point is that I accept that. It hurts me that we're the little brother.
Whatever.
It hurts.
We're gritty. We're fun to play. Like it's a fun team to be a part of.
There's two ways you could take it.
Right.
Sure,
I
get that.
Try it or don't.
But
look at it from a player's perspective.
The whole I understand that Cohen's going to throw money at whoever wants to.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. So listen. So look at the facts, right? This team just made the NLCS. They have a really good first-year head coach that loves playing for the players. Right. So there's two, right? You just had a career year playing for them, right? In the OM, and not even looking at the OMG stuff, but just everything in general. Look at that, right? So there's those three things. You are
rude.
You are the little brother, but you're in a big market, right? So you're in New York. At the end of the day, you're still in New York, regardless of where we would be. You're still in the biggest baseball market in the country, and that's.
But you're the biggest, biggest baseball.
Okay. But you have an owner that throws a lot of money, an owner that cares, right? Everyone loves Steve Cohen. The players love Steve Cohen. They love that his ownership and what he's doing for the team.
I feel like if I was a Met fan, like if Steve Cohen owned the Yankees,
right,
and the moves that happened to the Yankees, I would be tight.
You would be tight.
Would you not? You paid Max Scherzer.
Class just ended.
All this, you paid Max Scherzer and Verlander all this money, and they're not even on your team anymore because you decided to sign 40-year-old pitchers to $40 million. Wouldn't you be mad about some of these decisions?
If Steve Cohen owned the Cardinals or the Yankees, would you be mad?
Would I be mad? No.
I'm saying, but like some of these moves are.
I hate our owner.
Yeah, no,
okay, but if Steve Cohen did what he did for the Mets, would you be mad?
To the Cardinals, you get Max Scherzer, you get Justin Verlander, failure of a season, they leave, and you still have to pay them.
At the time, it's
but I'm saying in hindsight.
You're paying,
hindsight, of course, I'd be mad.
Yeah, but they're like, oh, we love him. He's the best
compared to what we had.
We got a comment from our.
He's done more good than bad.
I want to read.
He's done more good.
I want to read the chat,
and I'm going to go off of what also he's done outside of just the team in general. What he's doing to what he wants to do in the area around Citi Field. He wants to bring a casino. He wants to build restaurants, bars, all this stuff. He's redone Citi Field a ton. He's put so much money into the ballpark.
That Citi Field looks great. Everything looks great. The Met. It's so great to be a Met fan. Celebrate the NLDS knockout. I love it. So fantastic. I got to read something.
Oh my god,
we got such a hater.
I am. Like it doesn't make sense to me. We got comments.
Compared
we got
to
a bunch of comments.
Yes,
we got a bunch of comments. Right. We got a bunch of let's go Yanks, let's go Knicks in the chat. From our producer, why do grown men call Cohen Uncle Stevie?
I don't call him Stevie.
I hate that. I hate that more than anything.
You've never heard me say Uncle Stevie.
He's dying back there.
I hate Uncle Stevie.
I say Steve Cohen. So for me, at least, I don't say it. I know fans say it, but there's also things that Yankee fans say that's a little annoying.
What?
The 27 rings.
I mean,
We still
got
got 27.
We do got 27.
They haven't won since my kid was 5, but yeah.
It's 27.
Okay.
It's 27
Okay,
rings. It's
whatever.
true. It's the greatest franchise
Oh
of
my
all time.
God! Here we
my
go.
God.
No, it is. It is. It's the
Same
greatest
player. Oh, here we go.
It's the greatest
Yeah,
franchise
yeah.
of all time. It is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's without a doubt most championships of all time of any sports team across the board.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But like, you don't hear me talking about Celtic rings when I've been alive for 2 of them.
Yeah.
Sure. No, I understand
alive
that.
for one
Red
But there's a
Auerbach was the best owner ever.
There's
Yeah.
5 teams back then. Who cares?
Me and
Exactly.
our producer have a couple conversations about like the state of Yankee fandom right now. Because like, and I agree with him that like we don't have that.
Our producer. That bum over there.
Yeah. Connor, basically, he was saying a bunch of stuff about, we don't really have the standing anymore to as young Yankee fans to be arrogant, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like how we grew up and how like the team,
It hasn't been
the expectations of the team, like, and it's still, and I'm gonna say it's not. I'm cocky and arrogant, sure, but I think that for me, it's not because we won a lot. It's just because I know what the past has had,
and
this
has been a very different like franchise.
Sure, yeah, sure, it has.
It's been a very different franchise than what it was.
But in other ways, it hasn't. Like it's still the same. It's still the same team. We hold like. I don't know one Yankee fan that will be happy about losing or we got it this far. I don't know. It's just it's ingrained in our fandom.
So this is the difference.
Do you understand? Like I'm not doing that just to be like, whatever, like rude or cocky, but I just think that it's just ingrained in our fandom.
Yeah.
We are fans of a team, the most popular team probably in the world, right? We're ingrained to win. We want to win, and we've only done it once. That's what's making us more like this.
Yeah.
We've only done it once in my lifetime.
Yeah. But you also have to look at the fact that
I was born a time after 5 years after the greatest team of all time.
Look at also what the expectations were going into the season. Look at just this season alone, right? Don't look at in last season too. You can add last season to this. Look at what the Mets did last season and what they did this offseason and what the idea was going to this year. You guys traded for Juan Soto. You should be in this spot. Right. And I'm not
we didn't make the playoffs last year.
No, you didn't make the playoffs last year. No, you're right. And then you traded and you made massive moves. What did the Mets do? They traded away and they took a step back.
But doesn't it like get you sick that like you're like the Yankees got a player, so you're like, he's coming to the Mets next year. Like doesn't that get you? You literally said it 2 days ago to me.
When?
You texted me. You were like, if we get Juan Soto.
If. I said if. Never, we're getting Juan Soto. I've said if. Because
I remember because I sent you a gift of Juan Soto in a Yankee jersey.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
He goes, this is what he said. We were talking about like Nick started moving on to next season already because that's Met fandom.
Yeah. But I was like, this is what they should do, which would be good. But
he said,
God forbid I did that, right? It's terrible.
He opened up our conversation.
Why are you watching the Mets?
No, this is an ad.
Oh,
that would have been the funniest thing.
I'm looking like, why is it the Mets on this thing?
So he was talking about moves, about getting Soler and whatever. So he goes, another theory is throw Soto a bag, right?
He denies it, which he probably will.
He denies it. Cohen's gets mad and they're like, hey, trade for Vlad. Like, what's your thought process? Is this how Met fandom is? They're like, oh, we're gonna get Vlad.
Delusional.
I didn't
it's
say
like delusion. Like,
but
the Blue Jay, and then you tried to like.
But that's not. I didn't say we're gonna get Vlad. I said you said try to get Vlad, and I was like, well, that makes no sense. And then you were don't sign Alonso. They don't sign Alonso. They trade for Vlad.
The answer for you was like they're on a downhill. They're not going to trade their superstar. They're not going to trade Vlad. Vlad will never be a Met.
He might not be on the. Might not be on the Blue Jays. He may want to leave.
Thank you, Connor. He said, "I'm coming for blood today." Yeah, because I'm pissed because this whole week has been nonsense. All like a bunch of media and the radio shows, they're talking about the Mets fans about like, oh, we had a great season. We did great. The Yankees are in the World Series.
It is a good season.
It is a good season.
Yeah, but I don't care.
He's just mad that we've taken away the hype. That's why.
There's no taking away. You're witnessing a once in a generation World Series right now. We haven't seen a World Series with 2 MVPs and 2 first place teams.
Dodgers, Yankees. Yeah, that's the most played World Series ever.
I'm saying, but I'm saying in a generation we've never.
Yeah, but I think everyone
literally worst case scenario.
But you literally, can I speak? You could have predicted this though. At the beginning of the year, you said the Dodgers and the Yankees win a World Series. Like, okay,
I'd be like, probably.
The last time 2 first place teams and unlikely. The last time 2 first place teams and 2 MVPs are in a World Series. Last time was like 1943.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it like Dodgers Yankees again?
I think it might have been. I think it might have been.
But that's the thing though, is that's what makes World Series is so entertaining in the past, because it's like, oh my God, they're out. Like, oh my God, they're out. That's why this doesn't.
Yeah. So
that's why this isn't
the past
that big.
6 years where they've been like, well, besides like maybe Astros, but like the last year that the MLB. It's not good for the sport. It's never good for the sport. What? The Texans World Series last year was like one of the least watched World Series ever.
Good. No,
that's what happens.
I'm not saying that.
The biggest markets in the entire sport playing against each other.
You want to see the Titans battle each other. I get it.
Yeah, you want to see the Titans battle each other.
And I do. But also at the same time, like
no one wants to see the Mets play the Guardians in the World Series.
No, not that.
But in a weird way, sometimes you do want the weird team to make it, like the Diamondbacks.
I'm saying nationwide.
Nationwide, I know the average fan don't want that.
You do sometimes want an underdog in, because it turns into David versus Goliath, the hot team versus the Titan. That's what,
like Giants Patriots.
Giants
Patriots.
Right.
That was great.
Right. And like,
but again, Giants Patriots, 2 very big markets. It doesn't matter who's an underdog, who's not.
If it was the Browns,
but it's like you're talking about the best football team.
But it's like this wild card team hasn't played at home all postseason and beat the Niners, beat the like. They made one huge games against great teams to get to that spot. That's what makes it so entertaining.
Then they lost. That's like
the Giants. No, not the Giants.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Mets. Like
no.
That's like saying that's like saying like the Panthers next year come back, right? The Panthers next year. Wait. The Panthers next year come back. They win the wild card game, right? They win the divisional, right? And then they get to the what's it called?
AFC Championship.
The AFC Championship.
NFC.
And then they lose. NFC Championship. And then they lose. And then they're like, oh, great.
I've already lost 5 of those, so I don't want to talk about that.
Great run.
Yeah.
Like, it is though.
About? It is though. For teams like that,
it's a great run, but why are we celebrating that?
Because they've been booty for years.
Yeah. They've been terrible for years.
Doesn't matter. I feel like that's so
I know
weak.
for the Yankees it's different. You guys, the expectation,
I'm saying
you should have won one by now, by the
Giants.
But anyway,
even for the Giants, like 2017 is a different story. Like the Yankees.
You think they win that World Series?
Possibly.
Well, you don't know.
You don't know, but probably. Maybe
if they're there, they have a better. They have a decent chance of winning.
19 too.
Yeah,
but I think that like even as a Giant fan or even as an Islander fan, like we haven't won since whatever. I mean, we did win 81. We won 4 straight, but I'm never going to stop rubbing that in.
I know.
But even if the Islanders make it, like Islanders made, I feel like this is a good point to bring up. Like Islanders made back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals, and we took them. We took the Stanley Cup champion to a Game 6 and a Game 7. I didn't celebrate a second of that.
No,
I was tight every single time.
Well,
I was
of course
angry.
you're mad, but like in the back of your mind, you're like, it was a good.
But
okay,
so understand. So let me understand.
Bad season. You didn't win. Bad.
Okay, so let me.
No matter what.
Any sport. I don't take participation trophies.
So let me.
This is where sports is ridiculous. Participation trophies are ridiculous. You didn't win.
No, it's not that.
It's in baseball, there's 29 losers.
I know what you're trying to say.
No, it's
it's the context of it. Like if the Brewers, the Brewers, say if like what's a bad team? Like the A's won the World Series next year, or if they made it to the World Series, you'd be like a bad season.
Yeah, you'd be like, wow, they're terrible.
If the
A's, who are one of the worst teams, made it to the World Series next year, it'd be like bad season. That's what you're saying.
I'm not saying bad season. I'm not saying bad season.
You just said lose. We're not
celebrating anything.
Bad.
I said we're not celebrating anything. A great run. Like I said, Mets, great run. But what are you celebrating?
I'm not celebrating anything.
It's a major step in the right direction.
But I'm not upset that they lost to a better team. Like the Islanders, the one thing I can say with the Islanders is the Islanders played so well, and they showed that they could have beat them. They showed that they could have beat them. They put them to a Game 7.
Literally one own goal.
Yeah, no,
one shorthanded.
That's what I'm saying. That's what made it so frustrating with the Islanders when that happened the second time around, because they lost 1-0 with an own goal, and it was like, that's how you go out. It's not like the Mets who were fighting and then they just lost to a better team. That was what.
Yeah. So
that's what made me upset when the Islanders lost.
A lot of the
this
chat
case is saying the Dodgers were a better team, and you guys are going to have a hard time because watching them, they don't swing at anything out of the zone. They get production out of 1 through 9.
The chat is agreeing with both of you, saying like I'm going crazy.
You are going crazy.
I understand.
I'm not celebrating. I'm encouraged. It's encouraging for next year for the Mets.
My
brother said the Isles did not beat the Lightning. Like we didn't play. I mean,
yeah, but to lose like that, you came all the way back. You came all the way back to Game 7 to lose on an own goal, 1-0.
I understand.
That was embarrassing.
I understand.
That was angry.
I understand being like, okay, we like. Hopefully, we could. Thank you, Dale. He said.
Can't repeat that.
No, I'm not repeating that. But I'm saying like it's basically like I'm not saying celebrate. Like celebrating is bad. You're celebrating losing and getting knocked out. You could be like, all right, good season, right?
That's what
I'm encouraged for next year.
But you're encouraged for next year.
Yeah, Vientos
sure,
is a stud.
but it's over.
Okay, it's over.
It's
Great.
over. You're not mad. There's not one party that's upset. Oh, that's mad.
Not really.
That's insane to me. That's crazy to me.
Because there was no building for this year. That wasn't the plan.
Yeah, I understand that, but like you're on this crazy run and like it.
Yeah,
am I
a little? Yeah, I'm a little. All right, we could have tried, but I also watched that NLCS
we're different fans.
Okay, but listen, I'm not mad because the Mets lost. I'm not really that mad the Mets lost. Yeah, I'm upset that the season's over. Absolutely, this was an amazing ride by them and one of the better seasons I've ever seen as a Mets fan. But watching that series, you could clearly see that the Dodgers are a better team than the Mets. So where's
the talk of, in the middle when you beat the Phillies, right? Hottest team in baseball. We've been the hottest team since July. We're the best team in baseball since July. Yeah, and then you finally lose and you're like, oh, well, good try. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's
the Phillies were not the hottest team in baseball.
No, I'm saying the Mets.
You're talking about the Mets.
I'm talking about the Mets.
Yeah,
throughout the entire Mets series when you were smoking the Phillies, best team in baseball, this and that.
You go to a game 6 in the pennant, I think it's a success.
I didn't say that. I said at that.
Yeah,
at
but
that
was
point,
such a weird series.
At that point,
what does that mean?
No, I'm saying like they did.
What does that mean to do? You went to game 6.
You guys should be happy you took him to a game 6.
It was
yes,
weird.
You just said it.
Yeah, you should be happy you took him to game 6.
So what are we arguing about?
That's what I said.
What are we arguing about?
Take it back to LA.
I'm talking
That's
the
great.
celebration aspect. The fact that we got people online.
Here.
We got people not here. We got people online saying, "Oh, it's the Mets." I sent it to Robert. The Mets season is the best season that we've ever had in New York
that's
sports.
Crazy. It's not.
All right, I've not.
There's like 3 better seasons.
Okay, so I haven't seen
more
that.
than that probably.
I haven't seen that, but I've seen what a ride, and I agree.
Yes,
the Mets were down and out to start the year, and I was like,
"Thank God I'm not a Mets fan." Thank God
the Mets were down and out to start the year. Brutal, and then they make this miraculous run. They turn into the like I said, the hottest team in baseball.
So you're saying,
but they were terrible, and then they had the best record since June 1st. That's awesome.
True. Yeah, if not gonna say it's happening, maybe
if the Yankees lose,
no. Well, that's another thing. But what if Utah made the conference finals and they've been pretty bad for
a great
run,
10 years in a row.
Great run.
You're going to say that's not a success.
It's not. It's the definition of not success.
But you got to put it in context. I understand.
You understand what
you're
I'm saying?
taking it too literally. Like it's not literally not a success.
I'm saying in a little, it's not a success. But like, and in my head,
cellar dwellers for years, and we make conference finals, and that's a success.
You made the playoffs.
That was an extended playoff. There was like 20 playoff teams that year.
Yeah, I bet,
that was bad.
And did you lose first round?
We literally got smoked by the Avalanche.
Yeah. So okay. So
one game.
And that's what my thing.
But if the Yankees lose this, what do you call that?
A failure. Absolute failure.
It's a little bit of a failure, but it's
absolute.
But also
failure.
You have to look at the expectations in the situation.
No.
Yes.
You went out and got the bat. There, besides Aaron Judge, there's not a better bat I think you can really go out there and go and get besides Shohei, right? So, and you traded a ton away for him, right? Higashioka, Michael King, Wandy Peralta, whatever.
You traded Wandy's whack. I miss Michael King.
You traded a lot of guys away for him, so there is expectation to win. Sure. Not to mention, he is a free agent at the end of the year. Not saying he's going to the Mets. Not saying he's not going back to the Yankees. Not saying that he's not going in. He's going to go. You can go to any team, right? The Angels. You know what I mean? Like he could go anywhere. So this is also an expectation because in your eyes and in most people's eyes, I think you could say if you win the World Series, it pretty much turns into an 85 to 90% chance he comes back to New York, right? And I
think he's 100% coming back.
I wouldn't say 100%.
Making the World Series.
It's definitely making a deep playoff run too. Yeah, I totally agree. But
well, I'll put it in this context. I the only way I can really, I can't really do it with the Yankees. I can really, the Knicks last year.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks were supposed to be a decent team, right?
They became a great team.
They became a great team. They made it to the playoffs. They're on a run, right? They lose to the Pacers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Livid.
Yeah,
I don't understand, and I as a fan, I'm an awful fan, right? As a fan,
we could see that.
Yeah, as a fan, I can't be happy about that. I can't be happy about that. I can't. Let's move on to the Yankees, please. Okay,
we've been on.
I think we've talked about.
We've been on the Yankees.
No, we'll talk about it for a second, or a little bit. Yankees are in the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time in 15 years that this team, the New York Yankees, and everyone's saying you can't be arrogant. You've only made it once since 2009. True. They're in it now, right?
Okay. Yeah.
What are your predictions, Robert? First
predictions.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. I mean, I would not be surprised either team, winning. Obviously, two of the best teams in the league. I think.
Dale goes, "Is this called the Yankee hole?" The Yankees are in the World Series. We're talking about the Yankees.
Well, we have been for a while.
I was just saying we have to. I mean, we just talked about the Mets for
this is a tough one.
Like 2 seconds.
No, we talked about the Mets for a while.
I think
the entire time we were talking about the Mets.
The Dodgers have a lot of depth. Their starting pitching, I really don't know if it could be sustained over a series. And as much as I hate to say it, I think the Yankees unfortunately get a World Series. I hate to say it. I mean, that Nicholas, you're coming from the biggest Yankee hater.
Have the Dodgers in 6 or 7.
Of course you do.
But no, listen. It's gonna be a dogfight.
I think it's
it is gonna be
it's
gonna be a
brutal
dogfight to the finish. The reason I say the Dodgers in 6, right? The reason I say that, and again, like I said, it's gonna go to 6 to 7 games. It is going to be a dogfight, and it's gonna be much more competitive than anything we've had so far.
It's my dad.
Classic.
You and him would get along.
Yeah. Classic Yankee hater.
So, and I'm not being a Yankee hater. From what I've watched. I watched pretty much all the postseason games and highlights or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The Dodgers produce 1 through 9.
Yeah,
1 through 9, and there are. I don't really know any other teams that can do that in baseball right now that do 1 through 9. Yes. Are the Yankees deep? Yes. Guys are producing. Guys that are producing that should be producing. Aaron Judge and Soto and Giancarlo looks great.
And thank God.
Thank
God Judge got a couple homers.
Savior for you guys.
Yes.
You guys probably wouldn't be here if he didn't start producing. No, Judge.
Oh yeah, I mean, if
Judge
kind of have to,
because
I don't know. I mean, the way Stanton's performing, I mean,
Stanton's been huge too. But
Stanton might finish this if we win a World Series, and Stanton's a big factor. Stanton might get Mr. October stamped already.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, he has the most home runs in Yankee history in the postseason. He passed Babe Ruth.
Has Jackson too, really?
Dude, he's number one. I think he has 17.
Jeez,
17 homers in the postseason.
That's huge, but. Watching the at-bats of the Dodgers, they don't swing at anything out of the zone.
They are very smart.
A ton of walks. They constantly get guys on. It's very impressive to watch them.
That
bullpen is
the best
electric.
of the best.
Yes, bullpen's electric.
Bullpen's very good.
That's the one thing that's going to be hard for you guys is that bullpen and getting out of innings.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 1 or 2 innings.
And Ohtani.
Ohtani.
Yeah, I mean, so this team is stacked. I think
stacked.
If you're dumb if you don't think that the Dodgers are more
complete,
more complete of a team, sure, and more talented,
well-rounded.
More talented of a team. I mean, you don't look at a team that has the 1 through the first 3 hitters just being absolutes,
Max Muncy was batting 8th.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Tommy Edman won NLCS MVP.
Edman.
Yeah.
If that continues, it is going to be very hard because not only is Max Muncy playing well, and Taki and Kike looks great too. That's out of the 9 hole. Kike's out of the 9 hole, and he's crushing baseball.
This is where, as a fan,
oh my God,
this is where, as a fan, I have to obviously, I know without a doubt this team is absolute star-studded, and it's all because of Ohtani. It's all because of Ohtani and the deferred money, which should be illegal, but we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
It's insane, but
it's a pension.
Yeah, it's crazy. The 2034 to 2042 Dodgers are going to suck.
Yeah,
they're going to be bad.
What happened? We have another $400 million locked up for the next 10 or whatever.
70
a year for someone who's not even playing for us anymore.
Who's retired?
You have to get a ring. Like you have to.
You have to.
Because then it's a complete
So this is what
failure.
I'm saying. If the Yankees, I think the Yankees are going to win in 7. If the Yankees do that, I think it's a very hard series. I think that you need the perfect combination of starting pitching from the ALDS and relief pitching from the ALDS and starting pitching from the ALCS.
Yes,
right?
yes.
You also need the hitting from the ALCS, right? You need Gleyber Torres. I was wrong, Connor. I apologize. He's pumping his fist.
Who did they trade for? Who was the trade? How'd they get him again?
Gleyber?
Yeah,
had Gleyber for like.
It was a Cubs trade.
It was a Cubs trade. Yeah, it was Chapman for Gleyber.
What, like 5 years ago?
2016,
something like that.
Yeah. Like
8 years ago.
Like 8 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. But I remember him.
But he's on a contract year, and I'm glad that he's finally proving he's a great leadoff hitter at this point.
Yeah,
I mean, when you're hitting in front of Soto, you have to get on base, and he does. Soto, phenomenal. I mean, that at bat. Someone, I don't know if it's true, but I think a lot of people are saying that it's the greatest at bat
in Yankee history.
Like the dude, if you look at the at bat, mentality wise, I'm not saying
I'm like physically at bat,
like just the at bat,
fouling it off.
I'm not saying like what it means to everything, but it did basically clinch us. Like gets it. It's like just mind wise, it was great. Go watch that at bat. It's awesome.
He was so locked in.
Oh my god,
he was locked in.
Dude, he was all over every single pitch. It was like he knew where the pitch was going.
What?
He knew where he was. He just knew where every single look on his face. That look on his face. He knew where every single pitch was.
I mean,
and it's just there's really not another player like that where you just there's some players like that, but to that extent,
I would say you probably could add like Shohei to that list.
Sure, but like that ball, he was like, oh, I know exactly. This is low and inside, and this ball I'm not driving. I'm just gonna tap it, let it go foul. Yeah. And I'm just gonna battle.
In his head, he's like, he says,
and he's sitting there.
He's sitting
there. He's waiting for the high fastball, waiting for the high fastball, waiting for the high fastball. He knows he's going high fastball.
He's saying to himself, "I'm getting a hit right now."
He's like high fastball, high fastball, high fastball, and he misses it. The pitcher misses it by like an inch or two. He throws it a little bit too low, and he just buries it.
Yeah, that was
phenomenal.
No, but that's what you not that you expected every at bat out of him. It was an amazing.
No, I expected from him. That's how great he is.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Just like you expected from Shohei.
Every at bat. I didn't say you don't expect every at bat, but you expect it mostly from him.
In those moments, you expect
pro at bats from him.
And then obviously Judge started to pick it up a little bit. Still want more from him, but he's picking it up a little bit. Stanton, without a doubt,
it's going to be a dog
the only couple things is we're not as deep as the Dodgers lineup wise, like hitting wise.
Yeah, that's what I see pushing Dodgers over.
You have Austin Wells, you have Jazz Chisholm who are struggling, but I saw some good at bats from Wells. Some good at bats, right? The competitive. They don't really work out for him, but they're competitive at bats, which is good. Jazz, you gotta.
That's the one.
You gotta sit Jazz.
That's the one thing.
I'm being honest. You gotta sit Jazz.
Yeah,
he's so bad.
That's the one thing with the Dodgers, though, is watching that series. I rarely saw, wow, that Dodger, whoever could be, had a bad at bat. Well, every at bat, they work counts, they make pitchers make their pitches, and they don't swing at shit out of the. They don't swing at anything out of the zone. They don't swing at garbage. They really don't.
So when you get later into the lineup, you have obviously Volpe, phenomenal.
Yeah, he's looking really good. He's looking really good.
Deep in the lineup, that's great. Rizzo, the same thing. Deep in the lineup, great at bats. I think that's good. It's that Jazz Austin Wells part of the lineup that I'm not really.
Even Rizzo, he had some.
Rizzo had great at bats. He's batting the other way. I think he's batting 435 in the postseason.
He's doing his job.
He batted 435 in that series. I'm very happy with everything. I think it's going to be a gritty.
Who's
I like him. I think he's doing his admirable job.
Good base runner. Good, like that's what the
defense.
I think that if they,
that's always a good piece to have.
I think both to win.
Terrence Gore kind of guy.
Whichever team, both teams got to play their best.
Yeah, it was great.
Both teams got to play their best to win.
Yeah, And but that's why yes, I have the Dodgers, but for me it's because of how deep they are and how well their at bats are, and that it's 1 through 9 that they're doing that. And but it's going to be a dogfight. The Yankees are gritty. They are a good team. They have a really good top of the order, if not the best in baseball.
I just can't wait. Like if the Yankees lose, I mean, you guys are gonna celebrate, huh?
No,
I will.
You could celebrate. I'm
gonna be happy,
but I'm gonna be.
Maybe not happy, relieved.
It'll more be like I told you so, but like it's it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, I look at that team and go, yeah, they should be winning that.
True,
like,
this should have happened already.
I mean, we have to see what happens with Freddie Freeman. I mean, if he's
going to take at bats,
if he's probably going to take at bats, but if that ankle starts getting to him,
they'll have him take a couple at bats. He produces.
Helpful.
What you could always do with him is have him play the beginning of the game. If he produces, then you keep him in. If he does not producing, you sub him out. Or you pitch.
I didn't say both teams need to play good to win. I said if the team wants to win, whichever team wants to win, for the Yankees, I feel like they have to play their perfect baseball. And I think the Dodgers probably have to do the same too.
Yeah.
I think that perfect. Right? Like on all cylinders, I think.
And not make mistakes.
Not just at the comments.
Don't give each other outs. Don't make mistakes. And again, the Yankees make mistakes. They have bad base running.
They haven't been. Base running is the only thing.
Base running needs to get better.
They made one really big. Volpe made one error in the ALDS. He hasn't made an error since. The Rizzo error to end game 3.
Okay, one of them they lost.
Whatever, the way he chipped it and it just went right through him. That was a big mistake too. Yeah. But overall, I've been very happy with the fielding error, like no fielding errors.
There's been a couple, yeah. Well, the one that
only those, but like I'm not talking like routine double plays really weren't mess ups.
But the base running, you gotta get
base running is a problem.
You gotta get in check because the Dodgers will take advantage of that. Because again, they don't make mistakes.
I think Connor said it.
They don't really make mistakes. Same with the Guardians. The Guardians really didn't make too many mistakes. They didn't have some good at bats, and that's what lost them the game. But they're not going to give you outs. They're not going to give you run. Like, you're not going to just get runs off of them. I mean, the pitching didn't look good for the Guardians this postseason.
Whoever's watching, comment down what you think what's your series prediction.
I think most people are going to be like, it's going to be a dogfight between the two of them, and it's going to come down to the last 2 games, which you have to take into consideration that both of those will be in LA.
What?
6 and 7.
Yeah, sure.
So.
Can I ask you a question? So
you guys got to play well at home. You got to play lights out at home. You got to take advantage of that because that home field advantage for you guys is huge.
But I mean, sure,
so
like
you guys have home field advantage.
None of the team the Dodgers played the Mets and they played the Padres.
Yes, and the Padres were playing really well, and then the bullpen turned it on for the last 2 games.
Yeah, I think that if the Yankees starting pitching plays to their potential, the Dodgers haven't seen starting pitching like that yet.
All right, so
yes, but
Sean Manaea is not compared to Garrett Cole.
No,
you just said he's a top 5 important Met at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. But in my opinion, I think that one of the problems for the Mets and probably in the postseason was their starting pitching.
Yeah, but they don't. But at the end of the day, how well they take their at bats and their approach is unbelievable.
We got a couple ones. We got your dad saying LA in 6, duh.
Okay.
And going Yanks in 7, Joe going Yanks in 6, Anthony going Yanks in 7.
It's gonna be 6 and 7. It's gonna
go deep. I think that everyone kind of agrees that it's going pretty deep.
Yes.
Sorry, Ann said Yanks in 6.
Craziest thing would be a sweep. Imagine that.
Yeah,
one of the other guys
would be crazy.
So one of the teams just comes out.
Dude, if the Yankees sweep them.
Wait, so what?
Connor, thank you so much. So we got a little poll in the chat now. So you guys can vote on that poll. Yankees or Dodgers? Who do you think's gonna win?
Can I ask you a question? So
yes.
You haven't been to a World Series since 2009.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one at all? First of all,
vaguely, barely.
I remember like the last play or something.
Barely.
I'm like, they won. It's like
so
that's pretty much it.
Now that you're in it, like, what is the nervousness level? Because I remember the Cardinals made it. I was always nervous.
I'll give you to.
Or is it like an expected
when they won
thing?
Every game is
when they beat the Guardians, right? I've never felt like that.
Well, when they clinched.
I've never felt like that.
Nervous.
No. everything just like
an out of body
dude,
experience.
it was just like full of joy and full of just like, oh,
But now that you're in the week leading
God.
up, it's like the Super Bowl week. You're leading up to it.
Now that I'm leading up, I feel like I'm not real.
No nervousness?
I'm so nervous and so scared that I feel like I feel like it's so weird.
Nothing phases you.
It's so weird. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like terrified. I'm terrified.
I felt like that in the wild card with the Mets because I was like, listen, they did it in the regular season. I don't know if they can do it in the playoffs. And they did. They did.
We got
but
if this gives you, there's 5 votes on the poll so far.
Yeah.
Yankees have an 80% advantage. So it's 83-17.
I really don't think
Yankees,
this
6 votes.
is going to cause them to win.
No, I'm just saying.
Yes.
I like the interaction. I like the interaction.
Thank you for
very scientific.
Thank you for the poll.
Yeah, Ann said I was basically crying, and I basically was.
Really?
Yeah, I basically was. I mean,
I don't blame you.
I was so excited. It's my dude. It's the, you know how, like, consumed I am with sports and my team. So like, this is the first time that I get to really witness my team playing for a championship.
Prime time for
and I
it.
was very excited. Yeah, I think that the Giants second Super Bowl I remember a little bit more, but
a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit more.
It was only 2 years later. Yeah, it wasn't that.
Yeah, I mean, I remember a little bit more though.
But you weren't invested in it.
No, I wasn't.
No, I'm the same way. I was not
a thinking adult. I'd like to say a thinking human, and it's unreal. Yeah, no, I don't. It's unreal.
I don't remember.
For you.
We talked about this, and I want to see what Nick's opinion is. Like,
I
want to like, what is it in terms of championship 1 through 4, 4 most popular sports. Rank the sport championship that your team would win, like
that you want the most.
Okay,
obviously, I think we can all figure out what one is. The Mets.
Really?
That I want the most? That I want the most?
Okay.
I guess.
What? A championship
Connor,
that I want the most?
Can I get yours? Put yours in the chat too.
All right. So a championship
1 through 4, most favorite. Like, who would you want? What team would you want to win the most?
So for me, it would be the Mets, the Islanders.
Including the Devils.
Like football, hockey, basketball, baseball.
Yeah. So for me, it would be the Mets, the Islanders, and then it would be the Giants, and then the Knicks. Because I'm a fair weather.
I said something similar. I said, well, I'll switch a couple, but for me, it's without a doubt number 1 is the Islanders. If the Islanders win, I will go into a frenzy. I will cry my eyes out like a baby boy.
As would I. I would be super excited.
I would cry my eyes out. I think I would have to take a couple of days off of school and just have to sit and just enjoy. Yeah, just enjoy everything, because that would probably be like one of the happiest days of my life.
Yeah.
Number 2 is the Giants. I want to see a Giant. I want to see and witness a Giant Super Bowl.
A real one, yeah.
A real one.
Yeah.
That I remember and whatever. Number 3 is the Yankees. But I am very hype about this. It doesn't mean I'm not hype about the Yankees. I am hype. I might cry for the Yankees. Number 4 is the Knicks. Again, it's just in that order. That's my most hockey's my
gonna be
excited
sport. For all of them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm gonna be super.
Robert said something similar.
2, I'm 1 on the Mets because of just the fandom that I've always had for the Mets. My hockey fandom kind of grew more. Again, I've always been an Islanders fan, but it grew when I got to high school just because of where I went to high school, and I was across the street and we went all the time, and then they got good. So
prime time for it.
Right. So it was kind of like a perfect storm kind of thing. Like, it only fueled it more. And I've seen so much of the old, what they did back in the day. And again, I've lived around there my whole life. I'm hopscotch and a throw from the island, from the Coliseum, So for me, it 2 is the Islanders, just because of they're my hometown team.
See,
and it's even more local than the Mets or the Knicks or the
for
Giants.
Me, I vividly Robert even knows this. Like, he said it to me. Like, my family is
bleed.
Yeah, we bleed. It's the Islanders.
Huge Islanders.
Yeah, yes. Here I have vivid memories of when I was very young of me bawling my eyes out because the Islanders losing a regular season game. I remember that when I was younger.
I was like that with the Mets.
Yeah,
that was a
I brought my niece to my brother my brother he brought his daughter to the Islander game over the weekend, and oh my god,
she's invested,
dude.
Awesome.
It was the greatest thing. It was one of the greatest things I've ever felt. I was like, oh
yeah. No, but
I think
she's when she gets older, she's just not gonna care, and it's gonna be whatever. But that was the greatest. That was the greatest.
I think if I had to do an order, I think Packers.
And said I still cry over regular season losses for the Islanders.
Whatever.
What do you think?
Packers by far number 1. By far. I remember the other one I was 9 or whatever, 10.
Yeah.
It was very big at the time, freaking out. It's just the fact. I think the Jordan Love thing kind of adds to it. People hate us for some reason.
I don't hate the Packers.
You like them, but in general, everyone thinks he stinks. Whatever. I would go bananas if they won.
I have him in fantasy. He doesn't stink.
Dude, Robert's been to like Lambeau, like
2 playoff games.
like negative
1-1.
like negative degrees.
That's
overalls.
No
so
shirt,
cool.
no shirt on.
That's such a
Like this kid's freezing to death.
yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
such a
football is
Wisconsin thing. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked in Milwaukee this summer and was there, and I saw it. I was like, and I knew it already going into it, like what the Packers meant, but it's a way of life. It is a way of life, and it's super cool. I think it's awesome. That is football country, and
it is.
You may disagree because
but
Wisconsin is
Packers
football country between the Big Ten, between the Packers. The Bears are down the street in Chicago.
I think Packers have like probably the most like
devout,
one of the most devout fan bases.
There's 2 Packer fans in Westchester on the same floor, and one's in there and one's right here.
Yeah.
So that should say something. Not to mention, I'm sure there's other Packer fans you can name. I have a few friends at home that are Packer fans. You know what I mean? Like I would love to see a Packer. Obviously, the Giants more, but the Packers winning would be really cool.
Yeah, no. So that's my obvious number 1. I feel like Super Bowl is the biggest bragging
Number 2
rights
is
too.
Cardinals.
Number 2 is Cardinals. I know the most about baseball, like out of my 4 sports. So, and they're the OG, and like it has been a minute. There's 2 that I've already been part of, but it would be cool to get another one in this current age, just because 2011 is a long time ago.
See, the next one,
I remember watching that.
Two,
I remember watching that.
The next 2, I'm a little bit curious about.
Curious? No,
in order.
Next one is Utah.
I knew it. Yeah,
it was definitely Utah
be.
because they've sucked my entire life. They made a conference final in 2012. That was cool at the time. And then they just proceeded to never make the playoffs until the extended playoffs in 2020, which doesn't really count. So, I mean, if any year is it might be this year to make the playoffs because it's first good roster in a while.
Yeah.
And number 4 is Celtics. We just won. So everyone can go suck a bag of eggs on that.
Yeah, you're absolute like one of the weirdest fans of all time.
So
like this kid just he's like, how do I find 4 teams that touch every corner
How many
of the
times
country?
are we going to talk about this?
No, I understand. I get it.
All right,
I understand where it comes
question about the
wait,
Utah.
hold up. Wait 1 second. I want to say I want to. So Connor did respond and give me his. So Connor's a Jet fan. So number 1 is football.
You have to do 4.
What? He did 4. Oh no, he has 3. I mean 4. He doesn't care about hockey. He doesn't have a hockey team.
What a goober.
So number 1 is football. Because he's a Jet fan. Obviously, the Jets stink for his entire lifetime and probably generations.
I had an English teacher. She was a massive Jets fan, and she has like pictures with Joe Namath, like when he was young, like when she was a kid.
Are you gonna tell a story for every single time we list one?
No, but if I got to see her when after the Jets, maybe never, but if the Jets were to win a Super Bowl, she would be the first person I would like talk to, because like oh my god, the fandom with some of those older Jet fans
proceeds to tell a story.
No, but
we gotta go. I gotta
relax.
move on. We got 2 minutes left.
All right, and then I have one question for Rob. This is actually an interesting question.
Let me finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, where'd he go? I lost. Okay, so number 1 football for Connor. Number 2 baseball. He's a Yankee fan as well.
Yeah.
And number 3 basketball. You're a Knicks fan? Yeah. So he's a Knicks fan. So
Devils
that's
4.
Devils 4. Devils.
Yeah.
He goes.
All right.
He wanted to be a Utah fan the other day. By the way.
Jeez.
Liberty. Oh, no, Liberty's number 4.
Thank God.
Let's go.
If the Yankees
put that ring on,
because the Yankees are going to lose in 6. The New York Liberty are the crowns for curing our playoff drought.
I mean, yeah, that's how New York's finally done with their playoff drought.
Oh my God! But anyways,
courtesy of the Liberty.
So the question I want to ask Rob is, with the hockey, being on your list at was it 3?
3.
Does them being Utah take away some of that for you?
Ooh, that's
like,
a good
did
question.
they? Is that why they
like
them?
Not, yeah,
no, like I'm saying, like
not that's
so
your
like
ranking.
You grew up as a
Arizona Coyote fan
or a Phoenix Coyote fan, whatever. Yeah, you grew up as a Coyote fan. Is it going to feel if you win with with Utah? Would it feel different?
Yeah, it's just like when your parents moved and you didn't want to move.
No,
like, is that what it feel like?
It's like if I was from Arizona, I'd be mad.
But
you're just a fan of
from
that.
New York,
so it doesn't take away.
franchise.
It doesn't take away anything from you that it won't say Arizona Coyotes 76 world champions or whatever.
Not really.
76.
Hey, not that far.
Who knows? The Coyotes might be back by that time, and they're
I know.
winning.
I remember.
Oh, that's a
But
good question.
there's
Would you go back?
Well, hold on. Let me
Sorry.
finish this.
Continue.
There's two things. The Kachinas not being there with the Stanley Cup logo on it.
Yeah, that's
The
correct.
what?
The Kachina,
Kachina,
the Coyote, the
Indian.
that one.
That would
guy,
suck.
yeah.
And winning as a team with no name would suck. But winning is winning, so I don't care.
Yeah, but I mean, hopefully, maybe it wouldn't happen this year, but like next year, if it's
Exactly,
the Yeti, it would be different.
Utah Yetis.
For the most part,
So that won't take away anything that the Coyotes didn't get a championship, but the Utah
no.
Yetis
It's the
did.
same players.
So-
it's my same team.
So if
Okay,
the Coyotes come back, who do you root for?
Yeti. I'm too invested in the Yeti. I know if the same. It's like the
Yetis.
Browns.
They're not even the
Browns.
They're
Yetis
not
yet.
even, but they're gonna be. Like I feel like
Clayton Keller leaked it.
did he? Yeah,
He did by
Really?
accident. Yeah.
they're gonna be
It's
the
got,
Yeti.
it comes off the tongue too well to not be it.
Exactly.
The Utah Yetis. That's great.
So, but yeah, if there's another Coyotes, I can't root for them.
Yeah.
It's going to be a whole different team.
What's the mascot's name going to be?
Right now, we're using the Jazz mascot.
Really?
Oh, really? Yeah.
The bear.
I don't know if it's like a Yeti. It's like
Slam dunk.
something Yeti. Like he has a
Yukon Cornelius.
Yukon Cornelius.
Yukon the Yeti.
No, the guy from the
Yeah,
Christmas.
I got it.
Yeah.
But
But
like
you can call him Yukon Yeti. Yukon Yeti.
you can.
maybe
Yukon.
YUKON.
I mean, sure.
I don't know. We're going off on a weird tangent.
I would look. I mean, Islanders. I have no thing
But
to say. We
anyways.
have two. We have two,
Dragon.
We have two. We have two now.
Yeah.
So
The
we
guy
have
you
the
see on
dragon,
the
Sparky.
dragon and the guy you see on the subway.
Yeah. So yes. So Sparky.
The guy on the
I
double R
actually
going back
do- I
to
actually
base. Going,
do-
"Ah, we won back in '81. It was the best time."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
That
makes
guy.
no.
Yeah.
The
His name's Bob, by the way.
The Sparky doesn't make any sense because it's a dragon. It makes no sense.
Yeah, the dragon.
Niles.
Oh, okay.
Niles makes sense. I like
So-
Niles.
so can I-
Niles, the fisherman.
That's
because-
cool. I like him.
NYI. Like it
Yeah.
just,
Can I do why it's a dragon?
Yeah.
Can I give you why?
yeah, sure.
So apparently back when like Nassau, Long Island was kind of
There was a
being formed-
dragon flying over Nassau.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. But there were a lot of schools that were the dragon, and like they like used the dragon because it was like synonymous with like schools in that area.
We're
And
so
like
dumb.
I don't know. That's
It is
just
dumb.
it is
Yes,
dumb.
We're so dumb.
Yeah.
Dragon.
It has
Yeah.
to do with
I like Niles way better. I think Niles. It's just a fisherman. It's cool.
And then the
like,
best part is all the schools around that area that had the dragon got rid of it, and they
Nice.
went to the Pride or the Lions, like Nassau Community College is the Lions, Hofstra's the Lions. What is it, Delphi? Oh, the Panthers, because Big Cats, because the logo of
Yeah.
Nassau County is of the lion. So they all changed, and then we stick with the dragon. You know what I mean? Like if we kept the lion, it would have been like synonymous with
That's
Nassau County, but
yeah.
obviously we didn't. It's better than Suffolk because they got like an ox, which is stupid, but whatever.
I think that and
Something different.
not every hockey team has mascots, but
no.
it's not really a
But
conversation we
the
need to
Yeti,
talk
if
about.
you're the Yetis,
I
if you're the
know.
Yetis and you don't have
We
a
gotta wrap
mascot,
up.
you gotta have a Yeti.
Yeah, they're gonna have a
walking
big furry Yeti going up the aisles.
That's
we gotta
that's awesome.
we gotta wrap up for this week. Thank you for watching. We did pretty good. I think at one point we had 7 people, so that's great. We did, yeah.
Love
We had
it.
a poll go on. We had 6 votes on a poll. We had a lot
Lot
of
of
talking.
people.
Thank
Love
you
it.
everyone. Thank you everyone for watching. By the time next week, we'll be 3 games into the World Series. Fully into basketball starts tonight too. We'll be fully into basketball.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got.
We'll have all 4 sports going on at once.
So
which
how are
is
you going to
very
feel? What's your feeling going to be? Because now you obviously know the Knicks are going to beat the Celtics tonight. What's the
Yeah.
kind of? How do you feel? Are you okay knowing that they're going to get their ass kicked tonight after
Yeah.
they get their
I'm fine
ring?
right now. We like Joe Mazzulla said. I want the target right between our eyes. So
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
ready for that.
Big Cat is about to go through the backboard. Watch.
Excuse me, Big Bodega.
Big, I love that.
Yeah,
Would
Big
they
Bodega.
would they call him Big Purr?
Yeah, I
I love
so-
that.
I can't say this. I'll tell you guys afterwards.
I wish you
But
guys good
we
luck.
gotta wrap. We gotta
Big-
wrap up. We'll
Big
see you. We'll see you
Bodega.
all
Taking
next
the
Tuesday at
city
2. See you
Talk
Tuesday.
2 o'clock.
Tuesday at
He's
2.
talking over me. Tuesdays at 2.
Yes.
Always here. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week.